Yo, what is good, peeps? Happy Saturday. We are back with another installment of Above the Rim with the DSA and friends. Uh, Before you guys start questioning about it in the comments, yes, we are still having Craig Sword on the show. That one just got moved to 3. That is going to be on 313 Jamel's channel, so stay tuned and go back over there. We'll be reminding you throughout the show. But without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce everybody on the panel today. First up, we got the young blood CA3 Sports Talk. How's it going, CA3?
What's going on, man? I'm happy to be on this show and talk about my favorite team, the Pistons.
Yes, sir. Next up is the other young blood, Sekou got next, aka Pistons Post, aka the man with 1,000 names. What's going on, man?
Hey man, I'm just excited to be here. Excited to talk some sports. We all need to talk some sports, so let's get it.
Up next is our own personal doctor, our scouting expert, and the guy who said Steph Curry was better than Magic. Bravo, what's going on, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you, guys. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, we're going to talk a lot of things today and exciting. Hopefully, we'll see Craig Sword later on. Hit the like button and enjoy the show.
Last but certainly not least, the heart of the city, 313 JMO. How's it doing, JMO?
What's good, y'all? Y'all know, as always, it's Free Smoke Saturday, and we definitely will be having Craig Sword on my channel at 3 p.m. See, we giving y'all back-to-back shows. We got a full slate for y'all because it's Free Smoke Saturday, man. We had to step it up a bit to let y'all really know that we care about y'all. Make sure you like the video.
Hey, and we know you guys aren't doing anything because everything's still locked down. So I better see everyone in today's show over on JMO's channel at 3 p.m. as we do have Craig Sword from the Detroit. Oh, I should take that back. The Grand Rapids Drive coming on the show at 3 p.m. sharp. So I can't wait for that. But without further ado, JMO, can you go ahead and do roll call for us, man?
What's good, everybody? We got Noshi Stone in the building. What up, though? We got Kyle Webb in the building. We got Devin99 in the building. What's good, everybody?
Be sure you guys do like the videos you come in. Spam the chat box and interact with us because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And actually, I'm glad we're doing 2 shows because we have so much to talk about that one show, frankly, probably was not going to fit at all. So double the action, back to back, Jordan 96, 97. Let's get it, man. First up, we got some great news, man. NBA will be coming back this year. It has been reported by you name him, Woe, Shrams, whatever his name is. It has been reported that Disneyland and Orlando will be the destination for the NBA to come back. They're still trying to work out if they're going to play the regular season or the playoffs. It should be mid-July when we get the tip-off back. And then, quite frankly, I think from there, they'll kind of figure out when they'll start next year and kind of what they want to do. So that means mid next month, early next month, that teams will be allowed to go to training camps and do some drills. It's awesome that we are starting to get some of this stuff back. It means that the virus stuff is almost over and that it proves that we can overcome anything. But, fellas, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, man. What do you guys feel about the NBA coming back in just under a month? CA3, I'll start with you, man.
It's great, man. During this quarantine, I mean, what makes it bad is the fact, not only the fact you're in the house, but I mean, there's no sports to watch. So it's great to get some basketball, and be a little entertained during these tough times. So I'm glad the NBA is coming back.
Me too, man. Trust me, it has been a struggle to produce basketball content without basketball. But hey, who else does it like the DSA? And the answer is nobody. Bravo, man. I want to get your thoughts on this, man. What are your thoughts about the NBA going to Orlando, staying in Orlando, and playing all their games in Orlando and having basketball back within a month or so?
I think it's a good start. We needed a really good reopening scheduled program for the sports in general, and having the NBA as a starting in Disney. I think it's a really great start because you can at least have things under control. Let's call it that way. Quarantine the players and start really slow from that point. And hopefully, the goal is to improve the overall rating of the sports and bring it back to life at least, because everything has been dead with this virus already. So I think it's a good thing to have things back, and it's going to slowly go back to normal, hopefully.
And I think what better way to keep your players safe than going to Disneyland? You can go ride rides, have fun, do all that stuff over there. You're going to be in a beautiful place. You're not going to want to go out. Because I was really worried about them doing it in Las Vegas because there is so much more temptation to go clubbing and go to casinos and go outside of where you're supposed to be. Going to Disneyland, I mean, you could bring your family there, go ride all the rides because Disneyland's going to be shut down. So all the NBA players that they have it there will take their families there and do all that kind of stuff. So I think that's cool. The only thing that's going to suck is the playoffs without any fans because the best part about the NBA playoffs is just hearing the home fans go crazy. So at the end of the day, I'm going to take it. I think that the NFL draft had the first night had just under 27 million people watching it. It was the highest viewed draft for the NFL of all time. If you actually get sports coming back, rather if it's the NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL, they are going to shatter all of their viewing records because people miss this stuff, man. And I'm ready for it. Sekou got next,
so you
man.
saying the virtual draft had 26 million?
It was 26.5 million for the first night. It's the highest viewed NFL draft of all time. So there was nothing else to watch. People wanted some sports. Sekou got next, man. What are your thoughts about the NBA coming back next month?
I mean,
Disneyland.
How can I not be happy? NBA is really one of my favorite things in the world. I love watching the Pistons, even though they're losing. I still love them. I love watching the NBA. I love watching the playoffs. I love everything about the NBA, and I couldn't be more excited.
James Willis says, "What up, everybody? Thank you to the vets. Yes, happy Memorial Day to all of the vets. We appreciate you guys' service from the DSA and everyone. We thank you guys so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you to all the vets. Hopefully you guys have a good holiday weekend. Be safe, have fun, all that good stuff." J-Mo, man, what are your thoughts about the NBA coming back in about a month or so in the wonderful Disneyland?
I think it's a great thing. First off, as you said, thank you to the vets. My dad and granddad are vets and great granddad, so it's a lot of family over there. And but I would say that it's about time, man. Like they've been pushing it back. Shoot, I low-key wanted it in June. I ain't even wanted it in July. I'm like, July. I'm like, we gotta wait that much longer. Yes, I'm that petty about it. But my thing is, I don't know if they just gonna do the playoffs or the regular season too. But I mean, they might as well just do the regular season. And if you have to, you can have it how they do baseball or they do some what's that league called? I forgot. Intramural, not intramural, but AAU. And just have multiple games in the day if players are, and you just have your B squad players play in the second game of the day or something like that because they can play more than one games in the day. But it's the highest league in the world, so they don't have to do that. But it just gets you could do in a week you have all the regular season games done, or a couple weeks, and then you can get right to the playoffs, and it will work like that because I do think teams need to get their bearings back. They said that they were going to allow for teams to have a 3-week training camp, which is why I think it's actually starting in July because I think in June sometime they're going to have the training camp in the middle of June. So we'll see what goes on with that. But I just feel like I need them to play all the games because I don't want sloppy basketball. Because if it comes back and the basketball is trash, people are going to be bad.
I am trying to find the tweet here so I can show you guys from Keith Smith of trying to show you guys of what the schedule is going to be. I thought I had it pulled up here. I guess I didn't. I'm somewhere here, but I think what he said is that they want the regular season to continue, that they wanted to play it to get to every team about to 70 games. So it's going to be a little bit different. I'm getting pretty close to where it was supposed to be, man. This guy tweets a lot.
They might as well just start it from the playoffs then, because no team in the playoff hunt is going to be able to do anything with 4 or 5 games.
Some of them, like right here, San Antonio's got 7. and then Detroit's got 4. So it would be completely different. I don't really know why they would do it like that. Oh, here we go. I think this is it right here. Nope, that's not it. He had a schedule for it. Here we go. Nope. Man, there was something about coming back, starting. Here we go. Here we go. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. God, that took a minute to find.
I think part of the reason why they're doing just some regular season games is so. I mean, I don't think they want to go straight into the playoffs because they know players are going to be rusty.
All right, so this is Keith Smith. He's a writer for the NBA, and this is a rough timeline. This is my Twitter. You can have to follow me over there. Cheap plug. It says rough NBA timeline that was mentioned to me from a team exec today. Early June, back to facilities, which means practices, just warming up, lifting weights. Mid-late June, camp, that's practices and stuff like that. Early June or July, traveling to the single site, which would be Disneyland. And then mid-July, game start Labor Day-ish. Season ends mid-September. Draft a week later. Free agency a week later. And then Christmas time would be around next year's timeline for the opening tip-off. So it's something that we're going to have to adjust to. It's going to be different. This might be a new thing. Personally, I am a fan of the NBA starting their season right around the time the regular season starts to wind down for the NFL. NFL's got a couple more games late in December, but then they're really starting to transition to playoffs. It would give time for the NBA to warm up, get their players ready, and then by February, when the Super Bowl's over, NBA will be in the full swing of things. They'll be ready. It'll be more competitive. You'll get a lot more viewers from the NFL and the NBA because there's a lot of times, man, that people are divided of watching the NFL or the NBA because there's fans of both. And when you get that dead period where there's only like baseball and soccer on, it's kind of like the dead period of time. It's like summertime. You kind of watch baseball, but like for us, the Tigers aren't good right now, so you really don't watch it. And then not everyone here is a big fan of soccer, aka me, so I won't be watching soccer. No offense to anyone who likes soccer. It's just not my thing. So I think this could be a good thing for the NBA. But do you guys think that this new schedule could stick of where around Christmas time would be the new start of the NBA? What do you think, JMO?
I think that would be actually excellent because I didn't know. I'm not saying players don't need to rest, but this is the way that I'm looking at it. Y'all resting now for these last 2 months or however long it's been, 3 months that we've been in quarantine. Y'all been getting all the rest. This has been y'all off season. So even though it's not how y'all wanted to be, and you might not have been able to work out, this is y'all all season. Okay, so now we're gonna give you a season. Give you some weeks to get your bearings back, and we're gonna give you the regular season to get your bearings back, and then you're gonna do the playoffs. Then you're gonna get a slight break, and we're gonna get right back to the basketball. And I like it. I think it'll be something interesting. I think the ratings will be extremely high because the season starting in December. They for all we know, they might try to start the season on Christmas Day or something to really boost the ratings. Just something crazy like that. And I think it would be good for the NBA. And I don't understand how people be choosing between NBA and football when football games are on Sunday and NBA games are on. NBA games are on during the entire week. It might be some football games on Thursday and Monday, but those games are never really up to par ever. So, and it's usually not your team. So it's like all week you can watch NBA games. Of course, it's NBA games on Sunday, but you can just watch football that day. You don't have to watch no basketball games. But football fans they're very unusual. But I think this is great, and I like that schedule, and I hope it's accurate.
Well, let's do this because I think most people are okay with the NBA coming back. Let's transition to this one real quick. This has been reported from multiple sources. You guys can go ahead and do your research on that. But we'll use this article right here. This is from LarryBrownSports.com. On this article, I use a different one for my video, and let's get rid of that ad there. What this means, sorry, Luke G. Shout out to Luke G. I'm gonna take your comment off, but so we can see it better. What this means right here is the Pistons, if this thing does go back into reinstatement, is that the Pistons to cut anybody on the roster, no matter how big or small their contract is. So go back to when Josh Smith was cut from the Pistons. He is just now officially off of our books. We've been paying him for about 6 years or so since we've cut him. If we did this now, if this got reinstated, whoever that player was, we would not have to pay their salary. And Blake Griffin makes the most money on the team, and we're kind of looking to go in a different direction right now with his team. I talked about it last week. I know Pistons Talk. Shout out to Pistons Talk. He talked about it last week. This could be something that the Pistons would really strongly consider if this does get reinstated. Bravo, what would your thoughts be if this rule got reinstated to the NBA, where any team could cut one player from the roster, where they wouldn't be responsible for paying their contract out anymore? And do you see the Pistons doing this with Blake Griffin if this does get reinstated?
That's a good question. So I don't really know why this media keeps really flagging the Pistons as Blake Griffin is going to be amnested and we're going to get rid of him. And he's basically, we're going to get rid of him for nothing. And he's going to go next thing to, let's call it the Brooklyn Nets or the Milwaukee Bucks. And he wins the championship in there. Why do we keep really getting bad, really treating our stars like in a bad way, like we treated Andre Drummond that way? I think if I'm the Piston manager, I wouldn't really do this to Blake Griffin. He's our best player right now, and I believe he has a chance to be back. When he got back healthy, we should really consider trading him for a good asset. We shouldn't be really giving up on our biggest talent like this so easy like we did with Drummond. This is just a way of the media is really like flagging the Pistons in a bad way. And I just don't understand it why a lot of media don't like the Piston particularly, but it looks like it. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of Piston hate. I'm going to talk about it loud and clear in here because Blake Griffin, we do not really want to waive him like this or amnesty him for nothing. I think, in my opinion, if Blake Griffin gets back and he's 100%, he's one of the best top players in the league, and he's worth a lot of assets, in my opinion. We shouldn't be really treating him like that at all. I just didn't want to answer your questions that way because this is how you're supposed to answer the questions because Blake is a really huge star for us.
Yeah, he is. He's on the wrong side of 30, though. And again, I just think the Pistons want to go in a different direction. You know, like Stefanski and Casey weren't here when they traded for Blake. That was a Stan Van Gundy move to make his job. And I don't think that we have anything ill towards Blake Griffin. This would just strictly be a business move. I would be pretty neutral on the thing. I will root for Blake Griffin wherever he goes for being a Piston and really embracing Detroit. And, you know, a lot of guys who would have been put in shoes would have probably complained and demanded a trade out of Detroit. So I admire Blake. Blake wanted to win here. I hope we don't get him. I want Blake to be here when we're winning. I just don't know if that's in the timeline or not, but we'll have to wait and see. There is no certainty that this rule will be implemented. It is strictly just a debate. NBA is talking about it. They had a lot of time to kind of go back in time and relook at some of these old rules and just speculations and stuff. We definitely could have used this when we had Josh Smith, but it is what it is. Take who got next, man. What do you think about this, man? If they do reinstate this rule where we could cut any player from any roster, just one player, no matter how big their contract or how small their contract is, how would you feel about it if we did that with Blake Griffin?
Look, I love Blake Griffin, right? I mean, that's my man. But I'm kind of with you, Drew. Like, it would be a business move. We're going a different direction. We're rebuilding, and like you said, that was the Blake Griffin move was there because Van Gundy wanted to save his job. Now we got a way better front office with Stefanski and Casey. So I would be neutral. I mean, I wouldn't know how to particularly feel because there's two sides of it. If you just cut him right now and get rid of all his money, that's one thing. But what if he goes out next season and balls out and then we could have got a bunch of assets for him? But there's also the other side to it where what if he goes out and let's say he gets injured again and he doesn't ball out at all, and then we could get way less for him, you know? So it's just, I don't know. It's a big risk reward move, I think.
Well, I think to your point, Blake's been a pretty good leader for us so far. And to have someone like Christian Wood and Sekou on the roster to just kind of pick the brain of a player that kind of plays a similar position would be huge for him, even if he's on the court or not. So I never devalue the price of leadership, but like I said, man, I'm neutral. Whatever's going to happen. CA3, man, what about you? What would you think if that rule does get reinstated and teams could cut players and they wouldn't be responsible for their salary cap anymore? Do you see Blake Griffin being the target for the Pistons if that's the case?
Man, it's a tough decision because when we look at a guy like Blake Griffin, you know, like everyone has said, you know, he's a great player when he's healthy. You know, and I mean, let's say if we cut him if we cut him during the off season, I mean, if the rules reinstated, I mean, like, what if he were to ball out, you know, the next season, and you know, and he's trade bait? I mean, we kind of missed out on an opportunity. So, I mean, and there's also, you know, the side of the story, you know, that Blake Griffin is an injury prone player. You know, he could have injured himself, and we might not get anything out of him. You know, if we waited a season. So, you know, it's like I'm kind of like you guys. I'm like 50-50 because it's a tough decision because you risk not getting any assets out of them, and you also risk injury if you wait. So it's a really tough decision.
Next, the guy will be on his channel at 3 p.m. You guys are going to want to go over there because we have a player from the Grand Rapids Drive, Craig Sword, being on JMO's channel at 3. That video is scheduled. You guys can go over there after this one's over, 3 p.m. Get ready for that. We're going to need your guys' questions for Craig because we're going to incorporate your questions to him too, and we're going to interview him. So be sure you go to JMO's channel. JMO, man, what do you think about this rule if it does get reinstated that teams could cut a player no matter how big or small their contract is, and then that team wouldn't be responsible for paying them? Would Blake Griffin be the target for the Pistons if that's the case?
Yeah, I'm with Bravo, and I'm against everything all y'all just said. No, this would be terrible for the Pistons to do this. Not only would it be even more disrespectful than what the Clippers did to Blake Griffin, it just like, why would I ever want to come to the Pistons franchise if I'm the best player on the team and they just gonna cut me? Like, we will be back to rebuilding mode and we won't get a franchise player again. And then you don't trade a valuable piece like Blake Griffin and not get assets back. You're cutting him for what? Because all the money that you would have to like pay him this season, you're gonna make back with ticket sales. Blake is a cash cow. There is no way Tom Ward is doing this. It's not even in his thought process to get rid of his cash cow. There's no way he's gonna do this, and I would be totally against it because I'm not giving up Blake Griffin without getting assets. I'm not risking him balling out and then we don't get nothing for him. And if he gets injured, then we can still cut him. Nowhere in that clause does it say if he gets injured, then we can't cut him. So I'm just gonna have him be healthy. There's no way I would get rid of him like that. I got to get assets. I mean, somebody will give up something for Blake, guaranteed. And this is something that I definitely would not be doing.
Well, it is very speculative that Blake is healthy now. He looks healthy. Luke Kennard's healthy. All of their players are starting to get healthy. And then, like they said, the NBA could possibly be coming back within about a month or so. It's really going to depend if they go back to being straight to playoffs or if they're going to hop right into the regular season and continue that. Fellas, I want to know when the NBA does come back, if they go to the regular season, this Pistons team is healthy now. All of our players are healthy. They're ready to go. When the regular season was still going on, we were kind of in that tank mode where we had a lot of players doing really well, putting up numbers, but we just weren't winning games, and our draft stock kept going up and up. I'm worried that if the regular season does continue, even if it is just the 4 games, that the Pistons would win at least 2 of those if they're going to go to the 70 with Blake and everyone being healthy. I really don't like tanking, but right now I kind of want LaMelo, and only to do so is to play worse and worse and lose games. If they go back to the regular season, fellas, what do you guys want to see from the Pistons since we are healthy? Bravo, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Yeah, so if we really get back in the business, the remaining of the season, I believe we have 3 or 4 games left before we reach 70. We played already 46 and 20 and 46 already, our score. So I believe we have like 4 or 3 games left. I'm not sure how many exactly, because I saw on Keith Smith, he said 3 games, but in other areas he said 4 games. So the 4 games will be, for me, it will be exclusive for the G League players. I mean, I'd give a chance for Craig Sword. Why not? Give a chance for Dakari Allen.
Right.
We need to give those players a chance. And I would love to see Dante Hall, Jordan Bone, Lou King. They should really get their opportunity. And at the same time, if you really want to play back Kennard and Bruce Brown, Bruce Brown is not playing. Sorry. If we want to play back Kennard, play him for a first half only, like what JMO talked about last week. I think it's reasonable to play Kennard part time, but the hope is to really see much of data from the G League players in order to decide about which one you want next in the next year or so.
Yeah, I like that. I would love that. Go ahead, Demo.
I want to say one thing, and this is to everybody on the panel. I don't like how Bravo just said we were 20-46 and he didn't sound hurt. 20-46. Like when he said 20-46, I almost fainted with pain. I'm like, dang, I didn't know we were that bad. Like, oh my God, that is horrible. 20-46?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm about to cry, man. We need LaMelo.
I mean, we were banged up, man. I mean,
Take for Melo.
When the last time we had 20 wins at this point in the season? Like 30 years? Like we're not this bad. Like, oh my gosh.
No, even the Brennan Knight and Gray Monroe teams, they won at least 30. You know? Yeah. But I mean, we were never healthy. I mean, how many games could you say that this year we had Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, and Luke Kennard all out there? Not too many. It kind of, again, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but go back to when the Lakers had Kobe, Nash, Dwight Howard, and Pau Gasol. They played like, I don't know, did they play like one game together, healthy? It was like on a single hand, you can count how many.
Steve Nash was like hurt the whole season, so
it's like on a single hand, you count how many games they played together. It almost kind of felt like that. Although the Lakers team had way higher expectations than that, but you know, it just goes to show you that when you go into free agency and you bring in people like Derrick Rose that you're really high on, that injuries can play a factor. We had the injury bug this year, man. Everyone was hurt, and it just sucked. So now that we're healthy, I'm really looking into next year. CA3, man, what do you want to see from the Pistons if the season does continue? Because we are healthy, because we were on the tanking path. We were increasing our draft value, but now everyone's healthy. Blake, Luke Kennard, D Rose, everyone's healthy, man. What do you guys what do you think about that? About the guys coming back and playing in Orlando?
All I gotta say is I want to see all them two-way players out there. I want to see all those young players out there that haven't got any playing time on the floor for those 4 games. I mean, and maybe try to get Luke Kennard in there, maybe a half or so. But I don't want anybody out. I don't want any major players out there that that could risk injury for. And we need a tank too. I hate I gotta say this, but we need a tank. We need LaMelo Ball, and by that we need to have nothing but those two-way players and those young players out there. And it'll be a good opportunity for those players to get their feet wet and gain some confidence. So. And lose games. Absolutely.
And again, folks, if you guys have not heard, if you're new to the live stream, make sure you like the video. Check out the description. JMO's link to his channel is in there. We do have a very special guest later on today at 3 p.m. on JMO's channel, and that's none other than Craig Sword from the Grand Rapids Drive. That is the Detroit Pistons G League team. He will be coming on the show. It's going to be fun. So subscribe to JMO. Go to his channel. Watch that video. I can't wait for it. But JMO, man, what do you want to see from the Pistons if the regular season does continue, since we are healthy now?
I want to see some semblance of a system. I know I have higher expectations than most people, but my expectations are going to be high. I don't want to just see a team running around like a chicken with his head cut off out there playing like they were a few months ago. Look, when I'm not gonna be with you guys. Look, I know we need LaMelo, but I'm not gonna wish that we lose games. Now, one thing I won't do is play Blake Griffin. I don't care if he begged me to play. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna send you on a plane out of the country if you keep talking. Like, he not playing. But Luke Kennard, he can play out there for 3 quarters. Svi, I want him to get all the minutes as possible. I want Seiko starting. I want to know what it looks like when Blake Griffin isn't out there, but we got a Christian Wood, Sekou, Svi, Bruce Brown, Derrick Rose lineup. Like, let's run with that and see what it look like. And I just want to see a team out there fighting hard. I do want to see some of the G League players get some minutes, like Jordan Bone. I need to see. Look, the two main things I need to see these games: Sekou and Kyrie Thomas. Those are my two biggest hopes on the team. Besides, Luke and the rest of the, because I just feel it. I feel it in my soul. Kyrie Thomas is a good basketball player, and we gonna mess it up, and he gonna go somewhere else, and he gonna ball, and we gonna be feeling dumb. We need to hope that he stays healthy and give this man his chance, because every time he on the court, he balling, and he can play defense. So, and that's why I always, when I compare him to Bruce, I'm like, he can play defense as well. Why doesn't he get the opportunity? But this should be a time, Bruce needs to heal his hand up, but this should be a time where Kyrie Thomas and Sekou get as many minutes as humanly possible. I need Sekou playing, like, that's why I said 30 minutes a night. Like, why he needs to be out there 30 minutes a night. And I need Kyrie getting at least 18 minutes. But I just want to see some type of identity from the team, some type of system, because we just been, like a crapshoot all year, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, man. Again, for those of you guys who don't know, we do have Craig Sword from the Grand Rapids Drive coming on JMO's channel at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. You're not a real one if you don't do it. He just posted the link on his Instagram story. Go follow him on Instagram. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait, man. It's going to be awesome. What were you trying to say, CA3?
Yeah, I was just saying he just posted on Instagram, so that means he's on for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be awesome, bro. This above the rim, this is only the start. It's gonna get better. It is dope. This is a great step forward for us, and it's a great milestone for JMO as we are trying to get JMO to 1,000 subscribers. He only needs like 100 and some change to get to 1,000. Man, we are so close to getting him there. It's awesome that we have a special guest like this coming on, because if you guys have not watched the Grand Rapids Drive, man, they are fun to watch. They are young, athletic, explosive, and really entertaining to watch. So this is a great step for you guys to come on and get introduced to the G League and get ready for all that. So stay tuned. Come back at 3 p.m. on JMO's channel again. I can't wait for this. I'm scratching and crawling to get this show started for that. I can't wait. Sekou got next. What do you want to see from the Pistons if the regular season does come back? The Pistons are healthy. What are you looking to see from them if they do go to Disneyland and play there?
Look, my boy JMO was, spitting the facts about Kyrie and Sekou and all those players, but I don't really agree with you on we need to lose. We need to improve with the draft stock. It's 4 games, all right? We should be playing the young players. Like, as you said, we should be playing Kyrie. We need to play Sekou 30-plus minutes every night. We need to play Kyrie. We need to play Jordan Bone. We need to play Dante Hall. We need to play Lewis King. We need to play all those players. And if we lose those 4 games, our draft stock could go up 2 places, and we could get LaMelo or we could get Anthony Edwards. The possibilities are limitless. So if we lose those remaining 4 games and let our young players run the show, then I would feel like that's the perfect way to go out for a rebuilding team like us.
All right, so guys, I'm going to show you right now what you guys have to do to go to JMO's channel. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make sure I got this set up right. All right, I'm going to make the screen bigger for you guys so you don't have any clue or like misconceptions of it. So what you go to YouTube, boom, right there, 313 JMO, that is his channel. You go there. You also hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. I'm going to do that right now. I haven't hit the notification bell. My fault, JMO. My fault.
Wow.
My fault.
Wow.
My fault.
It is out here.
My fault.
The disrespect.
So then you also go to this Above the Rim with Craig Sword from the Grand Rapids Drive. You hit that, and boom, right there. You can set the reminder. It's already got 15 likes. I've already liked the video. I see Kyle Webb's already in the comment section for that one. That one's off and popping and ready to go. That's where you guys got to go for that video. We will all be there. It's 2 shows. You guys got a 2 birds, 1 stone special, man. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be a great step, like I said, for JMO to get to 1,000. It's a great way for you guys to get introduced to the G League and some of the players over there. I want to thank Craig for coming on the show and agreeing to do it. Yeah, I can't wait, man. 3 o'clock, can't get here fast enough. I keep checking my phone. And it seems like time's going slow. We've been on for like 35 minutes. Doesn't feel like it, but I'm waiting for it to say 3 o'clock so we can start that show.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this question, and then we'll get into some of the draft stuff. I do believe Luke Kennard next season will be a free agent. It will be probably a restricted free agent, so I don't know kind of what the market value for him is going into it next year because he's going to have to play really well. He's got to be healthy. He's been banged up a little bit here and there. He's shown a lot of potential, but the ceiling for Luke Kennard is really high. I don't want to say the word all-star. I don't want to say the word superstar, but Luke Kennard can be a really good piece for the Detroit Pistons moving forward, man. The guy shoots about 40% from the three-point line. He's got the skill set to get his shot off. You see him work on the step-back game a little bit this year. It's something that he's got to improve. His playmaking is getting better. His defense, even though it's still not good, is getting better. He's improving when healthy. He's about to go into this whole offseason healthy. Next year is going to be a very big year for Luke Kennard. But, fellas, right now, from what you guys have seen from Luke Kennard, what are you willing to give him for a contract? How much money and why so? JMO, I know Luke Kennard's your boy. That's why I'm going to give it to you first, man. Right now, what is Luke Kennard worth to you?
Luke Kennard is worth a whole lot to me. I would ask if somebody could do some research for me for a second. How much did Seth Curry get paid? I would like to know that because I think Luke Kennard should get paid around there or maybe a little bit more than. And I'm talking about like annual. Like I could give him 15 or 16. I know a lot of people love Christian Wood, but I would pay Luke more money before Christian Wood just because I think Luke, his shooting ability is just something that can be a pillar of any championship team, and we don't know what Christian Wood will really be at the end of the road. But I'm just trying to figure out.
He should get paid more than Seth Curry, though, man.
Right here.
Okay, so
right here, JMO.
4 years, 32 million.
Seth Curry, 4 years, 32 million. Average salary is about $8 per year.
So yeah, I would give Luke 4 years, 70 million. Then that's what I probably would give him. I think that'll be good enough. If Donovan Mitchell wasn't so damn good, like people would think much higher of him because he's really one of the best players from that draft class. He's definitely a top 10 player in his draft class, and he's the best shooter in his draft class. Was averaging 16. Before Blake came back for like a couple weeks, he was averaging 19. And I think the sky's the limit, man. To me, with a lot of NBA players, it's just about opportunity. You know, looking at somebody like Buddy Hield who gets benched and now he lost his opportunity. He can't be the best player he can be. So, but if Luke is allowed to take 15 plus, 16, 17 plus shots a game, this dude could average 20 points or more. Definitely. And I think, around 16 million a year, 15, 14 million it will suffice. And I know people might think that's a lot, but this is the thing. Blake's contract is going to be gone within the next 2 years. And then you don't have anybody else on the books, probably, but Luke Kennard and Christian Wood be the only players you'll have to pay. Then you'll have to pay Bruce Brown, but he's not. He probably get a Seth Curry more similar to a Seth Curry type deal. So you're not going to have any big contracts on the books. The only big contract you have is Luke's and Christian Wood's, and those are nowhere near a max. And we'll have millions and millions of dollars of cap space to fill out the roster.
So what was your final 4 year? How much?
I say like 16. I'm probably like 4 for 7.
So you want to pay
72.
So you want to pay him around 8 to 9 a year?
No, I said 4 for 70.
4 for 70. So let me do the math on that.
17.5 million, man.
Yeah, how about that? That's like 16 million.
I don't know if I'd go that high. I think
that's 17.5 million, bro. I calculated it, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
Bro, Otto Porter got $100 million contract, bro. Like y'all need to chill out,
man. That's Otto Porter.
And Otto Porter is like, you trying to say he a baller?
No,
I ain't say Otto Porter was a baller. I just said we don't follow. We're not gonna use that as.
No, I'm just saying if Otto Porter can get $100 million, Luke can get 70.
I don't really want to use the Washington Wizards strategy for contracts because John Wall has like the biggest contract in the NBA and he hasn't played in about 2 years.
Man, it's plenty of players that I can name. Like these players is out here getting paid way more than I'm asking Luke to get paid. That's not a lot.
I'd pay Luke about 10. I think that's about what we can give for him. 10 a year.
Gosh, we gonna lose him. He can be like,
nah, not enough.
That's definitely
I
not
think the highest I would go is about 12 to 13.
Yeah, I don't know if you really know what the market is like, Drew. Like that's not enough. It has to start at
I'll give him
15.
I'll give him a 4 year, $60 million contract. I'll give him a 4 year 60. That's what I would give him.
Like the market for Luke starts at 14, and then it's gonna go up.
Well, he's going to be a restricted free agent, so even if you lowball him, you can match it. So if we don't offer him enough, he doesn't agree to it. If someone else does, we can match it. So you can try to lowball him, and then you match the contract. I think that's what happened with Zach LaVine with Chicago. Someone else, yeah, because I think if I remember correctly, the Kings offered him a lot of money. Chicago lowballed him. He was about to sign with the Kings, but the Bulls matched it. So you can try to lowball him and get him to sign that. And if he does, hey.
And that's how you're going to end up with a 4 year, $84 million contract. And you're going to be like, how are we paying Luke Kennard $20 million a year? And I'm going to be like, because y'all ain't want to pay him.
Hey, that's why I'm not in the front office.
A team will pay Luke, a championship team, a team like the Bucks, they will pay. It's teams that will pay Luke Kennard a lot of money. The Raptors, it's teams that will pay him.
Definitely.
Well, he would be pretty nasty on Toronto, not going to lie.
Yeah.
I think here's the problem though is I think a coach that knows how to utilize shooters, like if he went to Philly where they need shooting, I mean, look how well JJ Redick played there last year. Like he was like perfect for them because they didn't have too much shooting ability. We don't really use him the right way all the time. When Blake comes back, it's kind of like he takes a back seat. His shots go down. I think if you give him a coach who really wants to use him,
you can't have Blake come back and then you have a point guard like Reggie Jackson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a point guard like Killian Hayden. I know LaMelo is ball dominant, but LaMelo plays great with shooters, so they'll figure that out. And then Blake will be playing off of them. Like,
right.
You got to come with a pass first point guard. Like when Ish and Luke and Blake were on the court, they were just fine.
Even with Derrick Rose, the first couple games of the season, him and Derrick Rose just gelled because what Derrick Rose does is he's an ISO kind of guard. He wants the ball in his hands. He's going to drive to the rim. He's looking to get layups and draw fouls. And after he scores about 10 points, the defense has to commit to him. Go back, people, and watch some Derrick Rose highlights. We will go back and watch his film study together. But he was able to collapse the defense. The defense had to go all in the paint. And Luke Kennard was getting wide open looks because Derrick Rose at this point in his career has great court vision and is looking to get Luke Kennard involved. Luke was killing it with Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose isn't even a pass-first point guard. So, like you said, if you give him a pass-first point guard like Killian Hayes, his shot attempts are going to go up. His points are going to go up. Everything's going to go up. So, I mean, that's really what's crucial for the Pistons is to get this right, to get a pass-first point guard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to lowball Luke Kennard at the same time because there's going to be teams out there willing to pay him, like General said. I mean, any team can use a guy with Luke Kennard, like Luke Kennard, who can shoot the ball like that. I mean, any team's going to be willing to pay for that. So I don't want to lowball him too much.
So, CA3, what would you pay Luke Kennard then?
I said about 4 years, 660. I'll be willing to pay him. I feel like that's a pretty good value for his production.
What, so $15 million a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like that.
Are we gonna? Well, I guess next year there'll probably be a salary. Never mind. Skip that. Sick, who got next, man? Luke Kennard next year will be a restricted free agent. As of right now, what is Luke Kennard worth to you?
I'll go like 4 years, $58 million to $60 million, just like Carl. I might be going, 1 or 2 million less, but Luke Kennard has a really high ceiling. I mean, like both of them said, like he can be a really, really good player. He's an amazing shooter, and when he was healthy last year, I saw him really, really improving when he's driving to the net too. So yeah, 4 years, 60 mil or 58 mil, 59 mil, some around that. And yeah, so just Luke Kennard, I definitely want to keep him, but if it's for like more than 63 or 65 mil, I might have to move on. 'Cause that's a lot of money.
Absolutely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys like the video. Go to JMO's channel at 3 p.m. as we have special guest Craig Sword from the Detroit Pistons G League team, the Grand Rapids Drive, on the show. It's going to be dope. It's on his Instagram story. Go follow him on Instagram. Bravo, man. What do you think about Luke Kennard? Next year, he is set to be an unrestricted free, or no, he'll be a restricted free agent. Excuse me. What is his market value, and what are you going to pay him next year?
Well, that's a really good question. I think Luke Kennard is money for me. So we really have to really get the player back. And the way I really would play it this way, if I'm the Piston GM, Ed Stefanski, I'd wait until team offers him something. Then we can match it if we have to do it that way. And don't really pay him until like the last minute. If nobody pays him, then we can really pay him a low contract. Ideally for me, if it was me, I'd really give him like 10 to 15 millions. But knowing the fact that we're in Detroit City, and it's hard to get players in here, I do believe that we're going to overpay. And I believe that we're going to pay him 15 to 18 million. And I'd agree with here with JMO because it's really hard to keep players in here in the league. And I can see that Luke Kennard getting a 70 million 4-year or even like an 85 million 5-year contract is reasonable too, which is, I don't know if we can do a 5-year contract, but that's something I would look at because this is how you really can like pay 15, and the last year you pay him 10. That would be reasonable for us to do. And it will limit the amount of teams that willing to pay 5 years of 75 or 80 millions. I mean, sorry, 80 to 85. That's what my goal is. 5 years, 85. That's like 15 years, except the last year is 10 million or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really sure if I'm doing the math right, but I would pay him 15 millions and the last year maybe 10 million out of 5-year contract. We need to keep Luke. And the fact that it's hard to really get players in this current DNA, NBA DNA, it's really hard to really keep players. So, and we're in Detroit City. We're not like in Los Angeles. And so I can see teams wanting Luke Kennard from everywhere around the country. So it's really hard. It's hard to keep him at 15.
The thing with Luke, though, is if he has another consistent season of 16 points or more, now around the league, he's living up to his draft stock. You know, on the draft boards, okay, this guy's supposed to be a scorer and he's supposed to be the best shooter. Well, now he's scoring 17 and he's shooting 40% every year in his career. Teams would easily give him 5 years, 85, because they like, I'm looking at potential. They're like, well, yeah, I got Ben Simmons here, or I got Giannis here, or I got a player like Zion if he went to the Pelicans, and I can just put him here, and for 5 years he'll have an elite shooter, and an elite shooter that can actually score, and an elite shooter that can play make. Out of all of these shooter type players, none of them can play make, but Luke can. Mm-hmm. He's like the only one of them that can, like, I'm not gonna say the only one that can play make, but like the Heroes, the Corvers, the Reddicks, all the shooter type guys, he can play make better than probably all of them, probably except for a couple of the guys. So you're talking about an elite shooter that can give you 17, 18 a night and then give you 5 assists. Teams are really going to pay a lot for that. That's why I'm worried about letting a team give him an offer sheet, because if they offer him 4 years, 70 mil, he gone unless we going to match it or something like that.
Yeah.
But man, you know how much teams be paying for these players? Role players be getting starter money, and starter caliber players get 80 to 90 to $100 million. So
yeah,
I would rather pay him now while he's like injured and maybe concerned about his career. Because if he plays next year and balls out, we really gonna have to pay him. And if we don't, we gonna look like idiots when he shooting threes in our face. Yeah. So
I've said this once, I'll say it a million times. I would much rather pay a young player, overpay them, than to pay someone who's 30 plus of age, give them a max contract. Mm-hmm. Because with that young player, they can get better, they can improve, and eventually get worth that contract. And if they don't, they can always be traded on the key word of potential. Luke's 22, 23, give or take, somewhere on that ballpark. He's been in the league for about 2 or 3 years now. He's still going to get better. So if you do overpay him, He's still going to be working to improving his game. I mean, Luke Kennard's not even close to being at his ceiling yet. He's still going to get better. And whenever you get a young talent who's constantly improving, can shoot 40% from the three-point line, which is remarkable. It's insanely hard to do at the NBA level. Some team's always going to want him, no matter how big or small their contract is. Some team's going to be willing to give you some draft picks for it. I don't have a problem overpaying for Luke Kennard. I don't have a problem overpaying Christian Wood. I don't have a problem overpaying any of the young fellas because other teams, if it doesn't pan out, will be interested in them because of the keyword potential. So I think that's something to watch.
That was a great point you made. Didn't that kind of happen with Drummond? We gave him like the most expensive contract for centers. I mean, we didn't get a lot back, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different though because Andre's not a shooter. He's not what the modern NBA center is supposed to look like. But I think if that was like Karl Anthony Towns and we gave him that kind of money, people would have been hopping all over that and be really interested in it. Someone like a Luke Kennard or a Christian Wood, let's use Christian Wood as an example because he kind of fits the mold of what the modern NBA big man is supposed to be. He's someone who spaces the floor out. He's able to take people off the dribble. He finishes above the rim. He can grab rebounds. I think he averaged like 11 rebounds since the Drummond trade, 20 points, can shoot the three, does it all, man. If we overpaid Christian Wood this year, I wouldn't flip out about it because there's somebody out there, if he keeps averaging 20 and 11, 2 assists, just give or take, a block a game, a steal a game, somebody out there is always going to want him. I mean, look at someone like Milwaukee right now. They got Brooke and Robin Lopez. They're getting older. If you were able to trade for a Christian Wood again, that would fit Giannis perfectly. He's a guy who can get his own shot. He's a good player to play off ball. Someone who's always competing for a championship is going to want someone like that eventually. So I don't have a problem overpaying the young guys, man. It's someone when you overpay a Ben Gordon or Charlie Villanueva, a Josh Smith, when you overpay them and they don't pan out, other teams start to back off because they don't want that money. They don't want someone who's not going to get better. Kind of learn from your mistakes and kind of just get away from paying the older guys too much money.
That gave me a headache, man.
Dude, you don't even know the half of it.
So the way to look at it, I'm just going to compare Luke contract with the similar contracts in the NBA. Look at Alan Crabb. You guys remember Alan Crabb?
Yes.
Alan Crabb is a shooter. He's not really a good player as compared to Luke Kennard by any means. I think he was good in his time when he started raising up. The point is he got a $75 million 4-year contract, which is tremendous for him. Same thing with Harrison Barnes. He got an $82 million 4-year contract. Reggie Jackson, he got like a 5-year, $80 million contract. I can see Luke Kennard getting something like expensive contract for like 75, 80, but you got to make it like 5 years with a player option to avoid matching. I would think team would less likely match if you not overpay, if you make it 5 years contract rather than 4-year contract. I mean, I could see teams matching at a 4 years, but less likely to match at a 5-year. But I guess I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you guys think about the 5 and 4?
That's the point I was making. It's role player. That's why I brought up Otto Porter getting $100 million contract because it's role players and other starter caliber. I'm referring to Harrison Barnes, not Crab. That's getting 80, 90, $100 million contracts. So if I say maybe 5 for 70 is better than 4 for 70, but I'm like giving him 14, 15 million a year it's what normal, teams would pay. Because if he hits the free agent market, and I'm saying and he plays great, the starting point is gonna be like 16, 17 million.
Yeah.
And some team is gonna pay him. Well, you're gonna see Luke Kennard get a 6-year, $100 million contract, and you're gonna be like, how in the world did that happen? And I'm gonna be like, it's about value.
People were overrating Otto Porter from the start, though. So I'm not surprised he got that kind of money. People were overrating him. So he was one of the most overrated players in the league at one time for me. So,
to that Otto Porter point, though, didn't Washington pay Kelly Oubre and then trade him to Phoenix, or did he get traded to Phoenix before he got paid?
He got paid in Phoenix.
He got paid in Phoenix.
He got paid in Phoenix before he got paid.
And that's kind of the problem with overpaying someone like Otto Porter. Because you can't tell me Otto Porter is better than Kelly Oubre. And Washington screwed the pooch on that because Kelly Oubre was dunking all over people left and right. Had a really good year in Phoenix, and a lot of people weren't watching Phoenix. Phoenix isn't a playoff team, but they had a really solid team this year off a lot of potential. Like Aaron Baines played really well. Devin Booker was Devin Booker. Kelly Oubre played very, very well. He was on our radar, or at least I should say the fans' radar for making a trade for. If Washington didn't pay Otto Porter that money, next year they would be having John Wall come back, Bradley Beal come back. Well, he's on the trade block right now, kind of again. I don't know what's going on with that. But then you would have Kelly Oubre. That's a pretty solid big three right there. So at the same time, you don't want to overpay the Otto Porters because now you look stupid. Now you look like Otto Porter does on defense, where he just falls asleep. Washington, that's a whole different problem. I'm glad we're not living in Washington and have to talk about the Wizards right now because they're going to be hurting pretty soon.
And then they ended up trading Otto. The funny part is that they ended up trading Otto Porter to the Bulls. So
yeah.
Brandon Maletta says, I completely disagree. If you overpaid, no one will trade for him, even if he is young. But this is the thing. How is it overpaying if the player lives up to the contract?
I know what that
And
means.
I don't think Luke, unless you paying him, unless you paying him like a max player, I don't think whatever contract you give him, he's not going to be able to live up to it. He'll be able to live up to it, so it wouldn't be over. It might be overpaying to some Pistons fans. Oh, we shouldn't have gave him $75 million, but if he balls out and for the rest of his career, then he's worth it. So teams will always trade for great young players. Trust me, no matter what their contract is like.
Well, we've talked a lot about potential, and there's a lot of potential for JMO's channel today at 3 p.m. as we do have Craig Sword from the Grand Rapids Drive, the Detroit Pistons G League team, on today at 3 p.m. on JMO's channel. Above the Rim, part 2 today. Be sure you guys go over there right after this stream. We'll get it set up. It's already scheduled. You guys have seen it. Go over there. It's going to be dope. But like we said, potential, man. We got a lot of potential in this draft to get this thing right. And one of the prospects we'll be talking about today is none other than James Wiseman. We don't really have a true center on our team anymore, as we traded Andre Drummond around the deadline. This is something that Pistons fans, we have to look into. It's something that the Pistons have to do scouting him, because even though we need a point guard, Wiseman is a really good player. Before we talk about if the Pistons should draft him, I want to get your unbiased opinion on James Wiseman, because he's might not go here. Golden State is really high on him, and I think he fits best with what Golden State needs and what he could become. But Bravo, you're our scouting expert, man. Give me your unbiased opinion on James Wiseman. Oh, he's muted. I didn't see he was muted. We'll come back to Bravo when he's unmuted. CA3, let's go to you then, man. What's your unbiased opinion on James Wiseman?
I think James Wiseman, he's an interesting prospect. I remember I watched the guy a lot in high school. He's very interesting. He was coached by Penny Hardaway in high school, and was supposed to go to play with him in college, but due to scandal issues, because Penny Hardaway paid for him to move to Memphis, he wasn't able to play. He had his college career early, but I think he's an interesting prospect. He's a good defender. He's very long. He also has the ability to stretch the floor as well. He can do a lot of things. That's why I think he's really interesting as a center prospect. So he's awesome, and I think he'll be a really good NBA player because of his versatility and the fact that he can do a lot of things at the center position.
We went through me and the peeps did and watched his film study. I think one of the things he needs to work on is his court vision. There was a couple times he was able to run in transition, either playing as a trailer or as the ball handler. And he had some shooters open in the corner, and he attacked the rim, was able to draw the foul. Excuse me. I'm in plug mode. I said follow. I'm in plug mode. I think that's something he needs to work on. But I like his athleticism. I like his post game. I like what he brings to the table. Bravo, are you back yet?
Yes.
What is your unbiased opinion of James Wiseman? Before we talk about if the Pistons should go after him in the draft.
I think I could talk about him later because I have the picture I can share with you guys about stats. So once you guys are finished, I can talk later.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost done. So I'm done actually with it whenever the rest are done. So,
JMO, man, what are your unbiased opinions on James Wiseman?
My unbiased opinion on James Wiseman is wait for it. He's the best player in this draft.
Mhm.
Yes, I said it. Besides, I love Melo, I love Anthony Edwards, but I've been watching Wiseman for some years, and I was thinking about it today about our centers, and I was thinking, how many centers in the league can actually shoot? It's very rare. Like people think because there's some stars that can shoot the ball, there aren't really any centers in the league that can like shoot. I mean, like you talking about Embiid, he shoot 30%. You
Cardi
talking
talk.
about you talking about AD, he's shooting 33%. Like Giannis shooting 30%. And I know they're not traditional centers, but Jokic, he doesn't shoot. He's not a sniper from three. There aren't that many. So, and then I mean Porzingis, but I don't know what his percentages are. What?
I said catch and shoot. He shoots like 38%, 37 or
That's
30%.
okay. Um, but it's not that many. It's not that many centers that shoot the basketball. So when you looking at that and you looking at James Wiseman with his ability to shoot, the fact that he's athletic, he's dominant defensively in the post. I
Yeah.
mean, he literally looks like one of them AD and B, Carl Anthony Towns, just type unicorns that you just can't pass up on. Like if my team didn't need a point guard, I'm taking James Wiseman over Edwards, over Melo, over everybody because I'm that high on him. But it just depends on what your team needs because I think he's the best raw talent. Like if Golden State does get him, they gonna win 2 more championships. I ain't gonna even say win. It's just gonna happen. Steph gonna end up with 5 rings. They gonna get him because that dude is special right there. So and I like him more than I liked DeAndre Ayton and Marvin Bagley because to me I like him more. I like him more than I like Wendell Carter. So he's the highest big man that I've been the highest on since probably Ayton. I think he could be better, but it because he can shoot apparently, but he's gonna be a great player.
Psych, who got next, man? What are your thoughts on James Wiseman?
Hey man, everything JMO just said was spot on. James Wiseman is going to be a superstar in this league. I truly believe that. I think he's going to be something very, very special. I mean, there's a lot of good players in this draft. I mean, in the top 5, they're all, very, very good players. But I think James Wiseman just sits in like the top 2. I mean, James Wiseman is going to be a superstar, and I think he's going to, for any team he goes on, he's going to make an immediate impact.
All right, Bravo. Is it a realistic opportunity for the Pistons to draft him? We're going to be on for about another half hour or so before we get ready for the other show. So let's go ahead and talk about this, man. If he's available when the Pistons are on the board, is he a realistic option for the Detroit Pistons to draft?
Yeah, so let me just share with you this screen when I think about James Wiseman in here. So James Wiseman, in my opinion, he is a top 3 pick. I mean, you can't just really ignore the fact he's one of the best players in this draft. Sorry, it's not clear, but let me just.
It works. That's good.
So the thing is about James Wiseman is he is 19. He measures 7'1", 7'6" wingspan, 237 pounds. His average is the problem with him is he made only 3 games, or he only played 3 games in the season. He averaged 19.7, and according to the this website, Basketball Reference, he's projected that for 36 minutes, he's making 30 points if he plays at that. He played only 23 minutes in his average 3 games. He scored 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and according to the 36 minute, they're saying that report he could be averaging 30 points per game, a full 16.7 rebounds and a 4.7 block per game, which is kind of really monstrous numbers, actually. So his field goal is 76%, and his 3-point shooting is projected to be around 31%, which is not a bad shooting center. His 3-point percentage is basically like Thon Maker's. so in terms of, according to this current Basketball Reference, I do like James Wiseman. I think he's a top 3 pick, and I would agree with J-Mo. He's one of the best players in the draft. The problem is he has a lot of pros in here. his biggest pros, I think, is the size, his athleticism. He's a lob threat. Always takes it off the from the lobs. He dunks everything. When you just throw the ball up in the air, he's gonna dunk it. He also a very good rebounder. I think he is really a great rebounder for his size. I don't know if he's under Drummond, no, but he's a really decent rebounder, and he has some shooting potentials. He is good, really scoring shooting potentials of the mid-range jumpers. I've seen them really shooting the mid-range jumper, which is really nice, soft touch around the rim. And he makes few fouls, which is another interesting. So he's really like a good defender. And he also goes for the free throws on a good rate. And he scored them. I think his rate is about 70% scoring from free throws, but I'm not really sure about that. His cons, I'm going to tell you straightforward, not a lot. The only biggest cons I found him. Not a lot of videos on him. Not a lot of playing time on him. The few people talked about his low body core, so he cannot really hold against strong centers. Like I think nobody can hold against like JaVale McGee or maybe like Dwight Howard or maybe like guys like big guys or Joel Embiid. They're really big guys. They can be a bully for James Wiseman, but I think he can still gain strength in the next few years. He has limited passing, so and like you mentioned, Drew, is tunnel vision. He's not really like a great passer. But we've seen also Dre. Dre, when he came in, he was a terrible passer, but he improved a lot. He became a nice passer, and as we progressed towards his career, and he settles for jumpers. I noticed that. He doesn't really go for the post a lot. I mean, sometimes he goes, sometimes he does take the mid-range jumper, but it still goes in. Sometimes he misses. And I guess I question only his decision to quit Memphis. I know he had a incident when he was in Memphis because he got money from some sources and he ended up quitting because the big issue of scam out of it. But I think it's not a legit reason to really quit, and that could impact his really professionalism in the future. So why would team really sign this guy if he has some attitude, behavior, and leaving?
Wait, you breaking up? I was saying you breaking up, kind of.
Am I breaking up?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, take the screen down, Drew.
Yeah.
What was you saying, CA3?
Bro, what happened was is in high school, Penny Hardaway was trying to get James Wiseman to play with him, and they ended up playing. He ended up playing on the same high school. I mean, as Penny Hardaway was coaching, so Penny Hardaway had paid some money for him to move to Memphis to play ball. So what happened was they got in trouble, and the NCAA suspended James Wiseman because he got benefits from Penny Hardaway. It wasn't and I think James Wiseman had to pay some money to play again, so that's why he kind of quit. It wasn't because he wanted to quit. It was just because
he quit in the end. I think even though in the end, after they allowed him to play, he quit in the end, which is kind of like I don't know if that's a big decision. It's not a big deal for me. I think he's still a good player, and I think he is really a great asset to have. So the question is, do we really pick him or not? I mean, for me, I would consider picking him if I'm like a 5 or 6. Why not? If he's down there, if he drops all the ways to us, and there's not a lot of good point guards left on the table, I take James Wiseman. I think James Wiseman is a really good player. I think he's a really good asset to have. So it's just I don't know why people should pick him number 1 since we need a point guard as number 1 right now. Our point guard is the most priority for us, so that's what we need.
Well, here's my thing. If the Pistons do draft him, is we're going to have the same problem we did with Andre Drummond, where if we do draft him right now, we don't have a point guard that's going to be able to give him the ball. And Dwayne Casey didn't do a good job. Stan Van Gundy didn't do a good job of running plays for Andre. Stan Van Gundy had to play for Andre where he would post up at the top of the key and do a handoff and try to do that little bounce pass through the defenders and kind of thread the needle there. And it did okay, but it wasn't enough to get Andre engaged offensively. He's going to need a point guard to kind of help take that load off. And like you said, I'm really concerned about if he did come here about having to play Bam in Miami 3 times a year, about playing Joel Embiid 3 times a year. If you get into the playoffs, you have to play them in a 7-game series. Of how well is he going to match up with them? He's only 19. He's going to get stronger. And I think he's got a lot of stuff he needs to work on, like his passing vision, his dedication, his work ethic, because, I'm not sold on it, but again, he's only a rookie. He's only played a limited amount of games in college. I think that he's got just a lot of kind of off-court issues he needs to work on, like getting his body more ready, getting stronger. And I think once he does that, it'll be a wrap. I just don't know if he fits with this team this year because we don't have a point guard really outside of Derrick Rose that's really proven. JMO, what are your thoughts on if he's a realistic option for the Detroit Pistons?
Considering all the things I just said about him, I better believe he's a realistic option. It's like, no. Yeah. After now, point guard is the biggest need on this basketball team. After LaMelo and Killian Hayes, like I love Cole Anthony, but I might take James Wiseman over Cole Anthony, honestly, because I think James Wiseman is that good. And yeah, you have to have find a point guard to put around him, but we got some young guards on the team. Maybe they can step up. You still got Blake and Luke who can play make. If we trying to look on the bright side, it's still to be a gaping hole there. But Derrick Rose could give him the ball. Derrick Rose got Andre Drummond the ball. So unless we're trading him mid-season, he can at least have one season with Derrick Rose. And next year, another year waiting, we would get that point guard. But my thing is, I really don't know what the point guard pool looks like next year, so I'm not going to even assume that I do. But I would assume that you're more likely to find a good point guard next year than find another center like James Wiseman that we would actually be able to draft. If you look at it from that perspective and LaMelo Ball isn't on the board, Killian Hayes isn't on the board, then you should take James Wiseman over Halliburton or Cole Anthony and even over Obi Toppin because he can come right in day one to start. He'll learn to stretch the floor better, but I really like his defensive. Like he could really help us defensively, having him and Sekou out there being long, like could really anchor us there. And he gets rebounds, he gets blocks. He's just a force. He's young. He might have some other issues, but after those two guards, I'm definitely considering taking James Wiseman, and I would take him.
Definitely.
CA3, what are your thoughts on if he is available when the Pistons are on the clock? If the Pistons should go ahead and draft him or not?
I mean, kind of similar to what Jim said. I mean, if the top guards are off the board, I mean, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, if he's still, I doubt he'll be still available. I mean, if the two guards are still on the board, I mean, I doubt he'll be still available. Like outside the top three, I doubt it. So I don't think we'll really even have the chance. But let's say if miraculously the guards go off the board and he's still there, I'm taking him no-brainer.
Sekou got next, man. What are your thoughts on if James Wiseman is available on the board while we are drafting, man? Should the Pistons go ahead and pick up James Wiseman?
Well, if LaMelo or Killian is there, we need a point guard desperately, and we've needed a point guard for a couple years now. So I feel we have to just finally do it. We have to take a point guard. But if Killian and LaMelo are both gone, I'm taking James Wiseman over Cole Anthony, Obi Toppin. I'm taking him over a bunch of people. So yeah, if LaMelo and Killian are still there, I'm taking James Wiseman over Tyrese because I don't feel that Tyrese has a super high ceiling. He doesn't have that it factor, which I feel James Wiseman does. So
yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, even though I want to get a point guard, rather if it's Melo, Killian Hayes, Cole Anthony, Halliburton, whoever, I want to get a point guard. I do. But if we're sitting pretty, say we get a top 4 pick and he falls that far, which I don't really know if, like you guys said, if he'll fall outside the top 3, it's possible. It's the NBA. Anything could happen depending on who gets boosted up, who falls in the lottery. At this point, if we're starting this rebuild, just take the best player available, and then we'll sit pretty from there. I really want the Pistons to kind of change the mold of drafting for need and stop passing on the Giannis's, the Kawhis, the Paul Georges, the Melos, the Bosches, the Wades, I mean, the Kembas. We can be here all day listening all the people we passed up on because we drafted for position need rather than taking the best player available. So if he's there, he's the best player available. You go all in on it, throw your chips in, and draft him. Now, with that being said, what we're going to do now is transition into final thoughts because, like I said, at 3 p.m., we are having another show on JMO's channel where member of the Grand Rapids Drive, Craig Sward, will be joining us and doing a little Q&A with him. So even though we didn't get time to answer your questions on this Above the Rim, you want to go to JMO's channel for that Above the Rim, and we will answer you guys' questions there. You'll be able to direct some of your questions to Craig, ask him some of the things you want, and there will be no time limit on how long that is. So if for some reason Craig has to leave early, we will still be on to answer the peeps' questions. So stay tuned for that. And again, this is all you guys have to go to right here. Let's make sure I got the right one pulled up right here. This is where you guys got to go. This is on JMO's channel. I see Kyle Webb and I see One Team One Pride already in there. That video's already got 18 likes on JMO's channel. Video hasn't even started yet. We already got 18 likes over there. So you guys are going to want to hop over there right after this one and get ready to talk to a G League player. I can't wait, fellas. So we are going to wrap the show up, transition to final thoughts, and get ready to that one. So Sekou got next. The reason we are having Craig on the show, what are your final thoughts on this version of today's Above the Rim?
Hey, look, today's Above the Rim was awesome. We talked about some draft. We talked about some other stuff. I had a lot of fun today. I had fun talking about, all the young players, Jordan Bone, Lewis King, Dante Hall, Jordan Bone, that's my guy. I love that man. And Sekou, of course, y'all know about my love for Sekou. So, as always, go Sekou, and Sekou got next, and go Pistons.
Absolutely. Bravo, our personal scouting expert. Again, the guy who said Steph Curry was better than Magic.
For me.
Let's just stick to the scouting and the analytics of basketball. That's your bread and butter. What were your thoughts on this version of today's Above the Rim?
I think it was a good show. It's really short, and we're going to come back later. So hang in there, and thank you for watching. Hit the like button, please.
Absolutely. CA3 Sports Talk, man, what are your thoughts on today's show?
It was a great show. A great little introduction show. I mean, nothing too long, but I guess kind of warm us up for the main course at 3. Which I can't wait to talk to Craig Sword. I've never really done a show like this, so it's going to be a great opportunity. It's going to be really fun. You guys need to be tuned in at 3 o'clock at 3 JMO.
Facts. I can't wait. And speaking of 313 JMO, again, that edition of the Above the Rim is going to be on his channel in about 40 minutes or so. So you guys want to go get your popcorn, go grab your Drew Wisers, whatever you need to come in there and continue today's event. This was just the pregame. That is the main event on JMO's channel. So stay tuned. But JMO, man, take it away. What are your final thoughts on this edition of today's Above the Rim?
It was a great show as always, man. Y'all know what day it is. It's Free Smoke Saturday, and we definitely got the smoke for you on my channel with Craig Sword. It's going to be a great event. Like Drew said, I need y'all to go get y'all popcorn, go make y'all sandwiches, put your food in the oven, go fry you some chicken. I don't know what you're doing, but do it, come back, and it'll be at 3. So it's going to be in about, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm very excited about it. We just trying to continue to build and grow. Shout out to Sekou got next for the plug, hooking this all up. And I just want to say about the show that I think James Wiseman is a great prospect, and the last thing I'm going to be is upset if he ends up on my basketball team. I think we definitely should pay Luke Kennard before he balls out. And because I could really see him balling out.
Absolutely. Peeps, what we need from you guys is not only to like the video, but share the video. Go to JMO's channel, like that video, share that video, and then reach out to your favorite players, rather if it's from the Pistons or not, and tell them that you want to see them on Above the Rim, man. We'll interview them. We'll talk to them, especially if they're from the Pistons. It's just, this is the tip of the iceberg, and we're only going to climb up higher. Think about that. Doesn't make sense, but we're going to get higher than the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
man.
exactly, man. And I just feel like we have fun with y'all every Saturday, and every Saturday is Free Smoke Saturday. Make sure you guys like this video. And I did want to say, aren't we all glad the NBA is finally coming back, because it's a miracle, and we just got to hope that everything goes well. We're going to have a lot of questions for Craig Sword. So as Drew said before, if y'all got questions, write them down so you can ask them, because we gonna get it going. We gonna get to the nitty and gritty. We gonna get an inside look of what's going on with the team right below us is actually winning a lot of games way more than our regular team. So they must be doing something right.
Absolutely. And with that being said, what I need you guys to do now is go in the description, subscribe to all the DSA members, links to their channels there. The DSA website is also there. Go check that out. There's a lot of stuff on there, a lot of new stuff coming out every single day. Shout out to Jim for making that. He puts a lot of time and effort into that website. So go show him some love and go look at the website. And then last but not least, Instagram and Twitter for me are there as well. So go follow me on both of those. And if you don't go over to JMO's channel, you can take my size 13 shoe, turn it sideways, and put it where the sun don't shine. And that's the bottom line because Detroit Drew said so. See you guys on JMO's channel in just under 40 minutes. Peace.